The Empire's price. The cold, metallic air of Vesker Prime carried the stench of burned cities and death. The night sky, once filled with stars, now glowed red from the flames of fallen towers. Amid the chaos, Lyria held her children close, her breath shallow, her heart pounding. The Empire had come. And they had no mercy. She crouched in the ruins of what was once their home, shielding her son, Oren, and her daughter, Vea, beneath the fractured remains of a wall. The rhythmic stomp of Imperial shock troopers drew closer. Their black armor gleamed under the firelight, helmets devoid of emotion. The red insignia of the Dominion of Jin dripped down their breastplates like fresh blood. A voice, mechanical and cold, echoed through the streets, "Bring them out." Lyria's fingers trembled as she pressed her children against her chest. Oren whimpered, his small hand gripping her tunic. Vea, barely 6, clung to her mother's arm. The troopers advanced. They were trained hunters, relentless, unfeeling. A shriek echoed from a nearby alley, a desperate plea for mercy, cut short by the crackling burst of a plasma rifle. They were executing survivors. Lyria's body tensed. She could not let them take her children. Not like this. But fate was cruel. A gloved hand reached into the rubble and wrenched Lyria forward. She gasped as her body was dragged across the debris-littered street. The children screamed as the soldiers yanked them from her grasp. "No. Please." Lyria thrashed, but the soldier's grip was ironclad. She was thrown onto her knees before a towering figure, a man in a crimson-trimmed officer's coat, his face half hidden by the shadow of his high collar. His eyes were soulless. Grand Inquisitor Thal Zeker. She had heard stories of him. He was the Empire's executioner, the bringer of despair. "You harbor traitors," Zeker said, his voice as smooth as it was venomous. "And for that, you shall pay the price." Lyria shook her head violently. "Please, they're just children." Zeker tilted his head, studying her with mild curiosity. Then he gestured to the nearest trooper. "Kill the boy." "No." Oren screamed as a soldier seized him, forcing him onto the ground. The child's eyes met Lyria's, wide, terrified, pleading. She lunged forward, but 2 soldiers pinned her down. The plasma rifle hummed. A single shot. A small, lifeless body collapsed onto the cold stone. Lyria's scream shattered the night. Vea was shrieking, sobbing, struggling in vain against the arms that held her. Lyria felt her mind crack, her soul wail in agony. Zeker knelt before her, his expression unreadable. "Your crime is treason." He lifted a gloved hand, brushing her tear-streaked face with chilling gentleness. "And treason demands suffering." Lyria could barely breathe. She shook her head, incoherent, broken. "Not her, please, not her." Zeker stood and nodded to his soldiers. Lyria thrashed, bit, screamed. It didn't matter. The second shot rang out. Vea's body slumped to the ground beside her brothers. Lyria's world shattered into nothingness. The troopers released her, letting her crumple between the lifeless forms of her children. Her hands trembled as she touched their still warm faces. A void swallowed her heart, leaving only emptiness. Zeker's voice was distant now, detached. "Burn the rest." As the soldiers marched away, as the fires roared higher, Lyria did not move. She did not scream anymore. She only stared into the abyss, and the abyss stared back.